It's time for our favorite video every single month. I'm so excited for these videos. Okay, where's my coffee? It is spin wheel fuel. I swear to God. Okay, now where's my iPad? If I came prepared for anything ever, that'd be great. Hey guys, we are back with another one, and we are filming another month of our favorite video. I hope it's collectively our favorite. It's my favorite, so maybe I shouldn't speak for you. I should just speak for me. We are filming my favorite video of the month to film because we will be spinning our favorite addictive little wheel to find out what books we will be reading in the month of January. But first, we have some housekeeping stuff to do because if you guys watched my last month's spin wheel video, you would know that last month was my most successful reading month of my entire career. I believe I read 12 books, and that meant that I had 12 spins for each book I read, plus one additional spin for finishing and completing my 10-book TBR that month. So I spun 13 times, which meant I had 13 books on my TBR to read this month. And going into the third week of the month, I said in one of my challenge videos that this might be the month I complete 13 books. And I'm sorry to tell you that unfortunately that did not happen. I had a great reading month, but I did not complete the 13 books, and I honestly can't explain that other than like the holiday week, like Christmas week, came in hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had so much stuff to do. I do have 2 boys. My husband works like crazy. So it kind of all fell on me. The shopping, the wrapping, the cooking, the prep, all this stuff. So honestly, I think I severely underestimated the time that Christmas was going to take. So although I did not complete 13 books, I did read 11 books this month, which is still my second best reading month ever outside of last month. So I'm really, really proud of myself, and I'm really happy for the progress that we made. But that means that I do not get the additional spin this month for completing my 13-book TBR, which is okay. That's okay. 13 books is a lot of books, and I'm just incredibly happy and grateful that I had time to read 11. So we will be spinning our spin wheel 11 times this month. But step 1 would be finding my iPad. So let's do that. It has been found. Before we get into this, I just need to show you guys what one of my amazing aunts got for me as one of my Christmas gifts. You need to see this iPad cover. Are we kidding? I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Hold on, let me get my head out of the way. Snape's Apothecary, and it says, advanced potion making, we battle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death. Which is one of the classic Severus Snape quotes, but I just wanted to show you guys this because it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Aunt Martha. I love it. Okay, so let's get our iPad out. Put that over there. So, to no one's surprise, we have also made additional changes to our spin wheel this month. So, let me go ahead and put our new spin wheel. Of course, once again, could I have done this before filming? We all know the drill. Did I? No, of course not. But let's go ahead and put our new spin wheel up on the screen and talk about the changes we've made. So, previously, last month's video, I had 19 shelves of books. However, I have recently attained 2 more bookshelves that are in the other room that are my bookshelves for books I've already read. I wanted to like separate my already read books from my books that I still need to get to, so that the only shelves we see when we're doing our spin wheel are books that I still need to read. So I did get 2 additional bookshelves, which cleared up 2 shelves of space for our spin wheel game. So we have gone from 19 shelves to 21 shelves. So there are 2 additional pie slices for shelf 20 and shelf 21. And then we still have our author first and author last pie slices. However, our genre, Kindle, prompt, and series, I added a little extra word to them, and that is our favorite word, which is spin, because all of those prompts now have an additional spin wheel. So basically what happened was I have lost control. I have lost complete control, not only over the books that are on my shelves, but I have hundreds of books on my Kindles, regardless of whether they're ARCs or Stuff My Kindle books that I get, or books that I download that I already have on my shelves just because I think I'd want to read them on my Kindle rather than physically. And it was getting to the point where I could no longer even really remember what I had on my Kindle, and I was tired of like scrolling down the list every single time, especially because when you get an ARC, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's an advanced reader's copy. They are books that are releasing sometime in the next few months that the authors will send to book reviewers and booktubers early so that we can read them and either give back feedback to the author or go ahead and record a video giving our thoughts to potential readers when it releases. And when you get sent an ARC, it's an advanced copy, meaning that you might see some typos, it might not be completely formatted, the story is firm, but there's some formatting they still need to do. And one of the things that happens is it gets sent to you in a PDF file and your Kindle doesn't identify it, so it doesn't sort it by author or name. So they just either kind of get sorted in the front or at the end, or like they're randomly placed amongst book in your Kindle, and it's almost hard to figure out what books you have because you can't search by author or title. So I had no clue what was on my Kindle anymore. And I realized last month when we got to our prompt spins and it was like, oh, find a book with, a book that relates to witches. Going through my Kindle was difficult because I wasn't even entirely sure what some of the books were. So I wanted to solve that problem, but also the series spin. I got to the point where I'm in the middle of so many series that I don't even remember what I've read. Like, I have no idea where I'm at. And furthermore, sometimes if it's like a series like the Briar Off Campus books that have, 9, 10, 11, 12 books to the series, I sometimes forget which book I'm on. Like, I don't know. I could tell you what book I read, but I don't know what number in the series that is. So we have additional spin wheels now to show you exactly what will happen when we land on those pie slices. Let's go ahead and take a look at those wheels. So we all know what the prompt spin wheel looks like. We saw that one last month. We all know author first and last are when we are going to spin a wheel for A through Z for first or last name. And that is now going to be done using this wheel, which is just an A through Z wheel. Nothing special there. I was using like a random generator from Google, but it was super loud. I didn't like the animations on it, so I just made my own. So now for author first and last, we will spin this kind of prettier, more streamlined wheel. If we are to land on the genre spin wheel, you've already seen this one, but we might as well just look at it. We will spin this wheel. So that just basically gives us our main genres: nonfiction, mystery, thriller, romance, fantasy. If we are to land on our Kindle spin wheel, we will be spinning the following craziness. Oh God, it's so sad to look at. That is every single book that I have currently downloaded on my Kindle. And now I hope you guys are understanding the struggle that is going through individual books on my Kindle, trying to figure out what's on there, let alone knowing what half of them are about. So In order to help me, if I land on the Kindle spin, I will have to spin this wheel, which will automatically pick one for me. And now, if I wanted a truly wild, read whatever you want, like selection, I will land on the Your Choice wheel, which was always there. So we cleared up that little bit of repetitiveness. Not last but not least, might as well throw it up here anyways. You guys have already seen the prompt spin. This just has, I believe it's like 512 book prompts. So when it spins, it'll tell you like, find a book with a purple cover, find a book published in 2023, find a book with, witches in it. So that's this. We spun that a couple of times last month. And last but not least, we have our series wheel. So if we hit the series spin pie slice, we will spin this wheel. And what this is every single book that is next in the series that I'm on. So for example, last month I did read Crave by Tracy Wolf. That is the first book in the Crave series. And Crush is on there. That's the second book in the series. So I now have organized exactly where I am in each series. And instead of trying to like remember it in my head or use some sort of list that I would have to scroll through, I'm just going to keep this wheel updated every time I make my way further through a series. So if we land on the series spin, this is what we'll be spinning. Now that our housekeeping is done, let's get into our, did I say 12? No, 11 spins for this month. So without further ado, you know the rules. We are going to screenshot. And in last month's video, we made a new rule. That is, in order to keep it truly random, at the beginning of every spin wheel video, we are going to randomize our spin wheel. So we are going to use our fun little randomize button. So let's say bye to this wheel. Bye, wheel. And go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Okay, oh, that is an interesting chunk of green. Okay, we have some green slices right there. This is what our wheel is going to look like for this month's spins. Should we do the first one? I get so excited. I love this. This is my favorite. All right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Spin number 1. Shelf 11. What is shelf 11? I think that's a fantasy shelf in the next room. So let's go take a walk over there. Okay, so here we are at shelf number 11. This is a fantasy shelf, and there's not too many series on this shelf. This is, well, maybe. I mean, we have our Witch Collector, we have Aragon, we have our Iron King. But for the most part, I think this is primarily standalones. So let's go ahead. Hey, Siri. Pick a number 1 through 22.
A random number between 1 and 22 is 19.
19. Okay, let's go figure it out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh my. Oh boy, I almost dropped our entire shelf. Let's look. Number 19 is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Oh wow, I'm really excited to get into this. This is really cool. Book 1, off to a good start. Well, that was best case scenario. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to get to Scythe, so I'm pumped about that. But let's go in to spin number 2. So we are going to wait our 3 seconds, and here we go. Series spin. Yes. Okay, it's happening. Not only are we going to further our series goal, but we get to pull up our fun series spin wheel. So here it is. Are you guys ready? Let's see what we're going to be reading. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Oh my my goodness. So our wheel has selected Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. So the funniest part about this is that that book is actually getting delivered today. So that book should probably be, it could even potentially be on my front step right now. I'm not sure what time UPS is going to get here, but that book gets delivered today. And this is literally the best case scenario because my amazing, wonderful, lovely auntie had hip replacement surgery last month, and one of the things that I did to make sure that while she was down and out and not really that mobile, while she, stayed entertained, is I put together a gigantic Vera Bradley tote of my books off of my shelves, and I brought them over to her so that she always had something to read while she was down and out. And one of the books that she read was Divine Rivals, which is book number 1 in this series, and she absolutely loved it. And when I was over her house again for Christmas, she looked at me, she goes, "Lindsay, when does that second book come out for Divine Rivals?" So she's just as anxious to get it as I am, and as soon as I finish this book, I'm going to have to drive it to her house and deliver it to her. So the best case scenario is me knocking this one off of my list this month. Okay, we're going to be on spin number 3 now. So let's go ahead and screen record. Wait the 3 seconds professionally. And 1, 2, 3. Yes. Oh, okay. Never mind. I celebrated prematurely. I thought we were going to get our prompt spin. We got shelf number 5. That is right over here. So we're going to have to do our first crazy angle of the video. Okay, so here is shelf number 5. This is a mystery thriller shelf. Not too many series on here. We do have our Alice Feeney, a couple of Megan Mirandas, our last Riley Sager that I have in my collection, but this should be good. This is a good shift of genre. So let's see what we're going to read. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 22.
A random number between 1 and 22 is 4.
4. Okay, let's see what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, interesting. Oh boy. Is this just going to be a video of me dropping all my books? Number 4 is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I have never read anything by this author, but I do have a couple of books by her, and I've heard that this one's pretty good. And it's actually relatively short, so excited to throw this one on my TBR. We are seeing a really good kind of like combination of genres. We have, let's see, Scythe I would say is a fantasy. Ruthless Vows I would say like is a romance light fantasy, I guess, like maybe like a light fantasy romance. And then The Wife Upstairs is a good mystery thriller. So we're kind of well versed so far. Let's see what spin number 4 has in store for us. 1, 2, 3. That is another fantasy shelf. Here we are at shelf number 12. So this shelf has all of my Shatter Me series, all of my Gideon the Ninth series, all of my Marissa Myers, and then all of my Olivia Blake. So we are almost guaranteed to be jumping into a series on this shelf. So let's see what it has in store for me. There's 24 books on this shelf. So, hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 24.
A random number between 1 and 24 is 9.
9. Okay, let's see what that is. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 is the last novella in the Shatter Me series, which I have not read yet. So we will actually be throwing on Shatter Me, which is the first book in the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi. I cannot believe I'm going to be starting Shatter Me this month. This has been a long, long time coming. I am so pumped about this. However, did I really need to start a series? Another one? Probably not, but it'll keep our series spin wheel interesting. Back in our favorite spot for spin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For spin 5. Oh, and of course it knocked it down. Not making it easy on me, that's for darn sure. Okay, so on your marks, get set, go. Here comes spin 5. Oh, 18, okay. I keep prematurely celebrating. I thought it was a Kindle spin, but it's shelf 18, which is a half romance, half fantasy shelf. So this is going to be cool. Let's see what I get. Okay, here we are at shelf number 18. So like I said, this shelf is about, not even, maybe a quarter fantasy. So my fantasy stops right here, and the rest of it is where romance starts in this section. So let's see, there are 50 books on this shelf. So, hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 50.
The answer is 25.
25, right smack dab in the middle. Okay, and by the way, while I'm sitting here, last month on my spin wheel challenge, I was cracking up. I love you guys so much. I got a comment from someone being like, girl, when you ask it to like pick a number between 1 through 50 and you get 49, why do you count from 1? Like, why don't you just take the second to the last? And I'm like, just muscle memory, guys, and I think it's just fun to count, I guess. So sorry if that bothers you, but we're gonna count to 25. Get excited. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Of course, it's one of the hardest ones to get out. So you're going to watch me wrestle my bookshelf for a minute. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, how do we do this? Okay. Oh, jeez, please. No. Okay, it's fine. This is okay. Okay. The drama. Stay. No. Stay. Okay. Oh my god.
All right, 100 years later. Number 25 is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I'm so excited about this. We are getting some serious, like some books that I've been waiting to get into for so long. So this is the first book in the Twisted series, and I could not be more excited that we got this. Guys, I get so excited while I'm doing these videos that I literally make myself like out of breath. Okay, so that was spin number 5. Let's do spin number 6. Pull this up again. Make sure we're screenshotting. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. $13. All right, that's back in the next room. Okay, so this is shelf 13. It's going to be just a little bit hard to see because you're going to catch the corner of my guest bed, but this is a fantasy shelf. It does have my Serpent and Dove series on it. It has all of Emily McIntyre's books on it. It has all of my Lee Bardugo books, so that's a good option. So there are 24 books on the shelf, and let's see what it has in store for me. You ready? Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 24.
The answer is 7.
7. Okay, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, interesting. Okay, so number 7 is The Scarlet Veil by Shelby McCurran. This is actually a newer release from, God, was it a month or 2 ago at this point? However, here's the situation we're coming to with this. Technically, I believe that this is a standalone. However, Shelby McCurran also wrote the Serpent and Dove series, which is, you can't see it very well, but it's over here. The Serpent and Dove series. And although I think you technically can read this as a standalone, it is based in the same world as Serpent and Dove. And I feel as though reading the Serpent and Dove trilogy will probably give us a better understanding. So I think we are going to throw Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahiran on our TBR this month. I just kind of want to have a base for the characters in the world and the magic system before I go into Scarlet Veil. Okay, spin number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, 7. We are a little fantasy heavy so far, and I'm hoping we hit a couple more of these random ones. So let's go ahead and screen record and see what we're going to get. 1, 2, 3. Seven. Okay, let's go to shelf 7. Crazy angle time. It's crazy angle time. Do. Sorry, we are at our first crazy angle of the video because shelf 7 is all the way down here, but shelf 7 is a romance shelf and it has 31 books on it. So, hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 31.
The answer is 7.
Another 7. What is that, your favorite number? All right, let's see what 7 is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Okay. I was trying to think if this was the first one, but I believe it is. We got Neon Gods by Katie Roberts. This is a spicy, I believe it's a Hades and Persephone retelling, but we'll talk about that at the end. That's pretty cool. I've never read anything like this. Okay, I believe we're on spin 8. So, let's see. I think that was kind of like a fantasy romance. I think we're still a little fantasy heavy, so let's see what spin 8 gets us. 1, 2, 3. Buy one. Okay. There's a couple of options for this one. All right, we'll discuss that at the end. So let's go ahead and jump right into spin number 9. So 1, 2, 3.
Mom.
Shelf 1. Hi, bud.
Hello.
Hi, you want to come say hi? Don't kick the camera. I don't even think you can. All right. Well, say hi from behind the camera. Oh my God.
I'm here.
That's a nice angle. Shelf number 1 is the shelf that I have that goes across the top. And this is completely random. This is just like overflow books that I either can't fit on the other shelves or I like don't want to finagle the way that I have them right now to try to force those books in. Admittedly, mostly fantasy, but my entire Red Rising series is on there, and my Swordcatcher series, and all of my Carissa Broadbent. So this has 78 books on it. So, hey Siri, pick a number between 1 and 78.
A random number between 1 and 78 is 50.
50? Okay, here we go. Let's do this. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44,
45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50! Okay, 50 is the 4th book in the For Blood and Ash series. So we are going to throw For Blood and Ash onto our TBR. This is one of the books that I wanted to prioritize in 2024, so I'm so excited that we're going to start off strong and put this on the list. That right there was honestly like best case scenario because of all the books on that shelf, there's probably like 3 or 4 that I would prioritize to read, and From Blood and Ash was right up there in like spot number 1 or 2. So that was pretty awesome, and that was like the best case scenario of how that could have gone. That may be our first read of the year. Okay, but we are now on, are we on spin 10? 9? I think we're on spin 9, but we'll confirm in a minute. So 1, 2, 3. Shelf number 19, I believe that's a romance shelf and it's in the other room. I did confirm that that was spin number 9. So this one was spin number 10. 10. So there are 51 romance books on this shelf. Let's see what we're going to do. Hey, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 51.
The answer is 35.
35. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. You guys are going to die. 35 is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This would be my first Emily Henry I have ever read, and I know that this is some of your all-time favorite book. Oh my gosh. I believe, isn't this the one that has Gus in it? That everybody's obsessed with, the main male character? I think it is. Yes, I'm so excited about this one. And just like that, this is our last spin. I always get so sad that these are over, but I know I get to do it next month, so let's not be dramatic, Lindsay. But, okay, let's screen record and see what it has in for us. 1, 2, 3. Four. We couldn't just end the video without having to move the camera again. Of course we have to go into the next room, so I'll see you over there. Crazy angle number 2 of this video. So shelf number 4 is in our mystery thriller section, and it is all the way down in this corner. So excuse the angle, we're working with what we got. So there are 25 books on this shelf. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 25.
It's 21.
21. Of course it is, Siri. Let's go count to 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19. Oh! Okay, number 21 is Little White Lies, which is another series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Okay, I'm intrigued by this. Let's talk about it after, but we're going to throw this on our TBR. Okay, well, although we are done spinning, the last thing we have to do is figure out what book we're going to buy for our buy one spin. So, I have some books that I'm kind of already thinking about. The question is, do I buy a physical book or do I buy a Kindle book? So, let's discuss some of the options that I'm thinking about. So one of the options I'm thinking about is that The September House by Carissa Orlando. Now this is a mystery thriller, and it's about a woman who's determined to stay in her dream home even after it becomes a haunted nightmare. So it is a mystery thriller, and here's what I'm thinking. We already have a couple of mystery thrillers on our TBR list, and I am not a huge mystery thriller reader. So I think I might want to wait on this one. Same thing with The Sanatorium by Sarah Peirce. The Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi. I think this is an epic high fantasy. I don't know that January is going to be the month that I do that. This is interesting. So another book that I have kind of sitting here waiting is A Forgery of Roses by Jessica Olsen. So this says, Myra has a gift many would kidnap, blackmail, and worse to control. She's a portrait artist whose paintings alter people's bodies. Guarding that secret is the only way to keep her younger sister safe now that their parents are gone. But one frigid night, the governor's wife discovers the truth and threatens to expose Myra if she does not complete a special portrait that would resurrect the governor's dead son. Once she arrives at the legendary stone mansion, however, it becomes clear the boy's death was no accident. A killer stalks these halls, one disturbingly obsessed with portrait magic. Desperate to get out of the manor as quickly as possible, Myra turns to the governor's older son for help, completing the painting before the secret she spent her life concealing makes her the killer's next victim. That sounds really, really good. So I think we're going to put this on as one of our options. So far we have A Forgery of Roses as an option. The other book I had sitting here was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the absolutely massive Shadowhunters series. I believe there's 21 books in it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if I have it in me to start a 21 book series next month, considering I'm in the middle of like 20 series as it is. So I think we're going to skip this as an option as well. So let's look at a couple of my other options in my lists. And then we're going to check my cart on Barnes & Noble and see if there's something that I want to prioritize. So if I'm scrolling through here, I'm just going to stop at the first thing that catches my eye. Oh boy, Once Upon a Prince. That's an option. We'll read about that after. So let's just scroll through. Forged by Magic, Brewed in Magic. There's so many books. How do you pick? Scrolling. Oh. Okay, so as I'm sitting here kind of scrolling, this is actually going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought because I absolutely refuse to purchase a book that is Kindle Unlimited, because why would I buy a book that I could read for free? So I just pulled a bunch of these books off my list and most of them are Kindle Unlimited. So honestly, I'm going to skip them because I'm not going to pay for something I can get for free. So I am going to go ahead and time lapse this so that you don't have to sit here and watch me scroll endlessly, but we're going to find something.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Okay. We went back to the drawing board and we've officially narrowed it down to A Forgery of Roses. And I also found an older book, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it's from 2016, but it's written by Ashley Poston, who is the same author as The Dead Romantics and The 7-Year Split. So this is one of her older books, and it's called We Own the Night. And it says, "Welcome to midnight, my fellow night owls. No one would ever suspect that responsible, ugly sweater-wearing Ingrid North is the incognito radio DJ known as only as Night Owl. Finally a high school grad, she can't wait to get out of her tiny hometown of Steadfast, Nebraska, population 347, to chase her dreams. Thankfully, her three best friends, Billy, LD, and Micah, who she is definitely absolutely not in love with, are more concerned with spending one last epic summer together than finding out where Ingrid slips off to every weekend. But for that one glorious hour every Saturday night, Iggy shucks her own skin to become Night Owl, an infamous and daring DJ with the answers to everyone's love life but her own. There is one caller in particular, dark and brooding, whose raspy laugh and snarky humor is just sexy enough to take her mind off the fact that Micah is rapidly falling for a mean girl's worthy nightmare. But when Ingrid lands an interview in New York City for the internship of a lifetime, her secret life begins to unravel. It's her chance to follow her heart, but she'll have to leave everything behind. Her ailing grandmother, her friends, her radio show, and a chance at her very own happy ending. Torn between her dreams and her home, Iggy begins to realize that to get what she wants, she has to give up the things that mean the most to her. But letting go could lead to a summer of sunflowers, rock stars, and the show of a lifetime. And Iggy just might find that her real life begins when Night Owl goes off the air." This only has 90 ratings on Amazon. But I think that sounds really good, and I'm intrigued to read some of Ashley Poston's backlist. So do we do We Own the Night or A Forgery of Roses? That is the question. And even though I'm very excited to read A Forgery of Roses, if what we were going through it for is lighter, fluffier romance for our stack, I think the better choice might be We Own the Night. So I think I'm going to pull the trigger and order it. Okay, there you go. We Own the Night by Ashley Poston. Another successful month of spinning our spin wheel, but let's go over exactly what our stack is going to look like this month. So the first book that we spun was Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I believe this is a YA fantasy romance about a character who is an apprentice. I guess like they've eradicated death from what I understand. Like they've eradicated all illnesses and things like that. And the only way to die is being culled by a scythe who takes your life. And I believe our main character is an apprentice to become a scythe. It says they are chosen to apprentice a scythe, a role that neither wants. The teens must master the art of taking life, knowing that the consequence of failure could mean losing their own. They learn living in a perfect world comes only with a heavy price. This sounds so good. And, well, actually, the writing is kind of tiny. It's a little bit long, but I do own, of course, the entire series, so I'm very excited to get into Scythe. After Scythe, we spun for The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I know nothing about this book. I'm not even going to pretend that I know anything about it, so let's just jump right into the synopsis. Oh, it's a reimagining. It says a vivid reimagining of one of literature's most twisted love triangles. I wonder what that is. Meet Jane. Newly arrived to Birmingham, Alabama, Jane is a broke dog walker in Thornfield Estates, a gated community full of McMansions, shiny SUVs, and bored housewives. The kind of place where no one will notice if Jane lifts the discarded tchotchkes and jewelry off the side tables of her well-heeled clients. Where no one will think to ask if Jane is even her real name. Meet Eddie, recently widowed. He has become Thornfield Estates' most mysterious resident. Ever since his wife, Bea, drowned in a boating accident with her best friend, their bodies lost to the deep. Jane can't help but see an opportunity in Eddie. Not only is he rich, brooding, and handsome, but he could also offer her the kind of protection she craves. Yet as the two fall for each other, Jane is haunted by the legend of Bea, an ambitious beauty and successful entrepreneur with a rags to riches origin story. How can she, plain Jane, ever measure up? And can Jane win Eddie's heart before her past or his catches up with her? Okay, that doesn't actually sound like as mystery thrillery as I thought. Like, obviously a mystery, but definitely a mystery, not as much a thriller, I should say. Okay, the next book we're going to go into is Shatter Me by Tara Maffey. I am so excited to start this because this is like a booktube, bookstagram, book talk favorite. I'm so excited. And the male main character in this, Aaron Warner, is like everybody's dream book boyfriend. So I'm excited to see if I agree. I believe this book is about the main character who, I believe if she touches you, you die, and the government is taking her basically hostage to try to see if they could use her as a weapon of war, I think. Once again, I'm making these assumptions based on what I've heard. I could be completely wrong. It could sound like a total idiot, but it says, no one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the reestablishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time and to find a future with the one boy she thought she'd lost forever. Sounds so good. I'm so excited for this. Up next is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This is the first book in the Twisted series, of which, say it with me, I own all of them. I have never read one. This actually, the first book is, I've heard, the worst in the series. I've heard you kind of have to fight your way through this one to get to the other ones that are much more beloved. So it says, Alex Volkov is a devil blessed with the face of an angel and cursed with a past he can't escape. Driven by a tragedy that has haunted him for most of his life, his ruthless pursuits for success and vengeance leave little room for matters of the heart. But when he's forced to look after his best friend's sister, he starts to feel something in his chest. A crack, a melt, a fire that could end his world as he knew it. Ava Chen is a free spirit trapped by nightmares of a childhood she can't remember, but despite her broken past, she's never stopped seeing the beauty in the world, including the heart beneath the icy exterior of a man she shouldn't want, her brother's best friend, her neighbor, her savior, and her downfall. Theirs is a love that was never supposed to happen, but when it does, it unleashes secrets that could destroy them both and everything they hold dear. That sounds awesome to me, but I wonder if it's like an execution issue or like a stylistic issue, or I don't know. I'm a very character and dialogue based reader, so if the dialogue is off or the character work is off, that could be it. So we'll see how I feel about this one. Okay, before we continue, it's about time for a sip. Okay. Next we have Serpent and Dove by Shelby McEwen. We actually did not pick this one. We picked The Scarlet Veil. But like I said, when we picked it, I am a chronological reader, and I am never going to go into a book that has interconnected worlds or interconnected characters, even if it's technically classified as a standalone, because obviously reading the previous chronological books will only add more context to the story. So I would never want anything in the Scarlet Veil to give away something that happens in the original trilogy. So I would prefer just to go into Serpent and Dove as book number 1 before I get there. So this says, bound as one to love, honor, or burn, a witch and a witch hunter thrust into holy matrimony. There was only one way such a story could end, a stake and a match. That sounds really, really good. I've had a thing for like witches and witch hunters lately. I don't know if you guys have like sensed a theme, but this sounds amazing. Next up, Neon Gods by Katie Roberts. This one I'm pumped about because it's been on my shelves for literally ever. I feel like this was one of the books I picked up when I first got way hardcore into reading. I picked this up. I believe this is a Hades and Persephone retelling. Let's see. He was supposed to be a myth, but from the moment I crossed the river Styx, Hades, and fell under his dark spell, he was quite simply mine. Society darling Persephone Demetriou plans to escape the ultra-modern city of Olympus and start over far from the backstabbing politics of the 13 houses. But all that's ripped away when her mother ambushes her with an engagement to Zeus, the dangerous power behind their glittering city's dark facade. With no options, Persephone flees to the forbidden Undercity and makes a devil's bargain with a man she once believed a myth, a man who awakens her to a world she never knew existed. Hades has spent his life in shadows and he has no intention of stepping into the light, but when he finds that Persephone can offer a little slice of the revenge he's spent years craving, it's all the excuse he needs to help her for a price. So Katie Roberts is infamous for writing really spicy Greek Olympus books, and I have wanted to read her for so long, so I'm very excited to jump into this one. And now for the book that made my priority list for 2024. This will absolutely be happening, even though it's a bit of a chunker. For Blood and Ash by JLA, Miss Jennifer Lynn Armentrout. Jennifer L. Armentrout. Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Jennifer L. Armentrout. Jennifer L. Armentrout. If it is Lynn, technically I just look like I know a lot about Jennifer Armentrout. But I don't. It might be Lynn. Who knows? But From Blood and Ash, I actually, in my priorities video, I started out by being like, this is a vampire book, I think. And then I went on to read the back of it. It's not. It's not a vampire book. I have no clue where I got that, but this book is about a maiden chosen from birth to usher in a new era. I guess she lives like a solitary life. She can't be touched. She can't have anyone near her. And I believe a bodyguard is assigned to guard her, I think. Yeah, the entire kingdom's future rests on Poppy's shoulders, something that she's not even quite sure she wants for herself. And when Hawk, a golden-eyed guard, honor-bound to ensure her ascension, enters her life, destiny and duty become entangled with desire and need. He incites her anger, makes her question everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. A kingdom forsaken by the gods and feared by mortals, a fallen kingdom is rising once more, determined to take back what they believe is theirs through violence and vengeance. And as the shadow of those cursed draws closer, the line between what is forbidden and what is right becomes blurred. Poppy is not only on the verge of losing her heart and being found unworthy by the gods, but also her life when every blood-soaked thread that holds her world together begins to unravel. This book sounds so incredibly good. This is actually the original like indie published version, and one thing I will be saying is I own it for my Kindle and I will be reading it on that because this is like super little and stiff, and I don't know, like it you can't hold it open. It just keeps trying to close. So I don't think I'll be reading it on this, but I will definitely be reading this. Okay, we also spun our series spin for what book I'm going to continue reading in my books of series I've started, and we got Ruthless Vows, which is the second book after Divine Rivals. I forget, I think it's the Letters of Enchantment series. I don't know if it's going to be a duology or a trilogy, but I believe it's the Letters of Enchantment series. I don't think that this could have picked a better option, not only because I cannot wait to dive into this book. Divine Rivals was a 4.5 or 4.75, I think, star read for me. So very, very high up there, probably competing for one of the best books I've read this year. And it ended on such a crazy cliffhanger that I cannot wait to see where she goes with Ruthless Vow, because the story is pretty magnificent, but also because I need to go ahead and get this thing read like immediately, because my aunt is breathing down my neck for me to bring this to her. We also spun for Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is going to be my first Emily Henry, and I have wanted to dig into her writing for so long, and honestly, I just didn't know where to start. I was between Beach Read or Book Lovers, so I'm glad that this spin wheel made the decision for me, and I think it chose right, honestly. So this says, Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love, really. So there are authors that switch genres and then end up falling in love. That sounds so good. And I've heard such incredibly amazing things about Emily Henry's style of writing that I'm so excited to get into. Then we have Little White Lies by Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And I know next to nothing about this, and I really haven't heard many people talking about it. I know her very popular series are the Inheritance Games, which, full disclosure, guys, I didn't love. I didn't love that trilogy. I read them all. Oh God, they were like a 3-star series for me. It was just a little bit too YA for me. I thought the story it could have been one book and over. The second and third books were literally completely useless. I just didn't like them at all. They were cringy, they were chaotic, honestly, there were parts of them that were just kind of stupid. Sorry for anyone who loves that series, because I know it is a beloved series. I do own the entire Natural series, and I have not got involved in it yet, but I've heard that one's pretty good. But I've never really heard anyone talk about the Little White Lies duology. I do have both of them. I love the cover on this. How cute is that with the brides? It says, I'm not saying this is Sawyer's fault, the prim and proper one said delicately, but 18-year-old auto mechanic Sawyer Taft did not expect her estranged grandmother to show up at her apartment door and offer her a 6-figure contract to participate in debutante season, and she definitely never imagined she would accept. But when she realizes that immersing herself in her grandmother's society might mean discovering the answer to the biggest mystery of her life, her father's identity, she signs on the dotted line and embraces herself for a year of makeovers, big dresses, bigger egos, and a whole lot of bless your heart. The one thing she doesn't expect to find is friendship, but as she's drawn into a group of debutantes with scandalous, dangerous secrets of their own, Sawyer quickly discovers that her family isn't the only mainstay of high society with skeletons in their closet. There are people in her grandmother's glittering world who are not what they appear, and no one wants Sawyer poking her nose into the past. As she navigates the twisted relationships between her new friends and their powerful parents, Sawyer's search for the truth about her own origins is just the beginning. Set in the worlds of debutante balls, grand estates, and rolling green hills, Little White Lies combines a charming setting, a classic fish-out-of-water story, and the sort of layered mystery only author JLB can pull off. Okay, we shall see. And last, but certainly not least, we have our buy one option, which was We Own the Night by Ashley Poston. I'm not going to read the synopsis again because I feel like I took an hour and a half to pick which book we were going to read, but basically it sounds like kind of YA-ish. A girl, kind of coming of age, teenage girl who just graduated high school, has what sounds like kind of like the equivalent of a 2016 style podcast where she has an alter ego as a radio DJ and then receives an opportunity to go and live in the big city and work alongside rock stars. But in that, she'll have to give up her radio DJ and possibly the guy that she's fallen for or has a crush on. This is one of Ashley Poston's, I believe, first works, certainly in her backlist, and I'm excited to see what it's all about because she is a beloved author. Okay, so here it is, guys. Here's our stack. These are the books we're going to be reading in January. What an amazing stack. This is why I love the spin wheel. I am so excited. And the question is like, where do I start? Seriously. Seriously, where do I start? So comment below which book you guys would like to see me start with, and then go ahead and do all the YouTube-y things while you're at it. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.